Hey, welcome to episode 2 of Sit Down Comics from Toy. Today we're going to be reading Daredevil 233. Released in 1986, this issue was written by Frank Miller and it was beautifully illustrated by David Mazzucchelli. You can see his name here. This is the last regular issue of Daredevil that Frank Miller wrote. Now, Frank Miller, famously or infamously, depending on your opinion of the man, I have kind of a neutral opinion. I just read the stories, whatever he's doing in his own private time, or inserting into stories which can be problematic is his own business. But anyway, whether you like Frank Miller or not, it's inarguable that Frank Miller brought Daredevil from the late 70s into the 80s from near cancellation to being one of the top selling Marvel titles. Uh, it's because of Frank Miller's run in the 80s with Elektra and Bullseye and all the ninja material that we are living in a world where there was an excellent Netflix television show. Isn't that weird? Netflix television? I guess it makes sense. Anyway, it's also why we're living in a world where we're still discussing Daredevil to this day, because Frank Miller's material really just brought the character into a new light and really introduced a lot of interesting things that maybe weren't there before or weren't as prominent as they are now. Things you cannot separate from Daredevil, like, again, Elektra, Bullseye, the Hand, ninjas, things like that. Dark grittiness, the seedy New York underbelly, things like that. Anyway, Daredevil has had excellent runs since Miller's 1980s run, but most of their material, again, was built on what material Miller introduced to Daredevil. So Daredevil has a lot to do with Mr. Miller and his contributions. But this story represents, again, his last contribution to Daredevil in a regular story. For some backstory, this is Armageddon 233. It comes after a major Daredevil story called Born Again. In Born Again, Karen Page, the former secretary of Matt Murdock and Foggy Nelson at their lawyer firm, had become a heroin addict and eventually a porn star in Mexico. It's again dark, very dark stuff. She needs a hit of heroin so badly that she ends up selling Daredevil's identity away to somebody. And Daredevil's identity is Matt Murdock, the blind lawyer. So this information eventually makes its way to the Kingpin, who's the, as you saw maybe in the last episode with Spider-Man, is this larger than life crime boss, literally kingpin of the New York underworld and honestly the global criminal underworld in the Marvel Universe. Anyway, Kingpin really hates Daredevil because they're on each other's turf all the time, so they don't like each other. Anyway, once Kingpin finds out the Daredevil's identity, he sets out to try to destroy Daredevil by destroying his life outside of being Daredevil. He has the IRS freeze Matt Murdock's bank accounts. He has the bank foreclose on Matt's apartment. And he has a cop testify that Murdock, as a lawyer, was paying witnesses to perjure themselves, which, of course, is a big no-no. It's corruption. So, really, Kingpin's goal here was to kill the Daredevil. And this eventually leads to him using America's cybernetically enhanced super soldier, Nuke, who's right here. Now, you can't really tell in this cover because of the lighting being so strong here, but he has an American flag tattooed to his face. And he's basically just a nutso. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, basically. He's a not an Austrian death machine, but an American cybernetic warrior who's just everything 1980s. Turn it up to 11, give him a grenade launcher and a tattooed American flag face, and go from there. He's like a wrestler combined with America's penchant for war in the 1980s. It's basically commentary on the American war machine in the 1980s. So he's just a bad dude. And basically, for whatever reason, Kingpin decides that this guy is the guy that's going to kill Daredevil, and he's going to do it by blowing everything the F up. So in the last issue before this, in 232, he's just blowing up Hell's Kitchen. And that's where this issue is going to finish off. It's going to show us what happens. I decided to start here just because there's a cameo in this. Which if you can't tell, it might be somebody you know from the cover. It's not too subtle, but I really like the dialogue in this issue. It always stood out to me when the special cameo appearance appears. I really like it. I also really like Daredevil. I love the Netflix show. I've read a bunch of different Daredevil stories, especially modern ones. Some of them were more comedic than others, and some were really well done. Um, I wish I was more knowledgeable, can tell you the names of the authors and stuff and the runs, but I'm not a human computer with that kind of stuff. I forget things all the time. But I will say that Daredevil's got a lot of good material here. I have not read this storyline. I've read Born Again, but I did not read this. This is actually not part of Born Again, which I was mentioning before, where Daredevil is having his life ruined by Kingpin. These two issues, 232 and 233, came after that storyline. And they were basically, this is unofficially kind of wrapping up some loose ends in Born Again. So, that's where we are with this issue. Armageddon. Nuke's going on an unhinged rampage, blowing up Hell's Kitchen, and Daredevil has to stop him with the help of some special guest stars, which you can see one of them right there. So it's interesting. Let's begin. So, as you can see, this one has Spider-Man's face on it. Last issue I actually had a barcode here. This denotes that this is probably a back issue that somebody got from subscribing and got in the mail, and this was never sold on a newsstand. So that's why that's a base instead of a barcode. Here, we're going to open it up. This is the original magazine. I could actually afford this one. So the colors are going to be like they were back in the day. I know nowadays we got the eye-popping digital artwork. Everything's, anti-aliased up to the max. So you can get it. And super bicubic, luminal color enhancement, vibrancy, overloads. We don't have that here. This is just the original, not animation, but illustrations as they were back then. So this is an authentic experience. And I'm just going to start reading it. I'm not going to do voices like I did last time. I don't think I am. I'm just going to read it because I'll make appropriate changes to my voice, but I'm not going to do all the different voices because it turns out there's like a billion characters in some of these stories, and I'm like, oh my god, how do I voice all these people? But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start. So, Stan Lee presents Armageddon. We see a water tower getting blown up. Daredevil is just like, what would Daredevil do in a situation like this? How's he supposed to deal with somebody just blowing things up? It's interesting. I did kind of judge Kingpin for using a psychopathic, warrior with bombs and guns and stuff to try and take down, Daredevil, because if the Punisher's not going to do it, how's this guy going to do it? So, still, what would Matt Murdock be able to do in that situation? It's an interesting matchup. So, anyway, this issue is respectfully dedicated to Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby was still alive at this point. So it's respectfully dedicated to Jack Kirby, but he's not dead. I guess Frank Miller and Mazzucchelli really liked Jack Kirby. It's an interesting thing to have in there. So we're going to continue now. So it's just beautiful art. Look at this art. This is like the pinnacle of art for me, in my opinion. And yeah, it's because, I grew up then when this stuff was coming out. Like, this came out just a year before I was a thing. But it's still beautiful art. I really like it. So, Hell's Kitchen screams. A building facade becomes a bone-crushing avalanche. Napalm splatters from roof to crowded street. A car explodes. Glass splinters, sharp as razors, slices through the air and through flesh. Sirens wail like spoiled children. Children don't think about the children. Don't listen to them. The gun, that lunatic's gun. Listen to it, firing bullets now. Listen to him. It's like a 9/11 scene. It's just pure horror as this guy just goes ape-ass, destroying things. And that kind of shows Kingpin's, lack of decorum. He hates Daredevil so much. He's like, yeah, blow up New York City, blow up Hell's Kitchen. I don't care. Just get the job done. And that just shows how despicable the Kingpin is. We're pulling out, boy. Our target's vanished. Won't let you down, Colonel. I'll find him. No, Nuke. Mission aborted. Won't let you down. Won't let our boys down. His heart's strong, but too fast. Gotta be amphetamines. I'll be lucky if that's all there is to him. So this is Daredevil's point of view right now. has superhuman senses. If you're not familiar with Daredevil, he basically had some chemicals get tossed on his face as a child. It blinded him, but then he was also able to gain superhuman abilities to basically have like an echolocation vision. That's how it's been represented in various media. But basically, he has super hearing, and he has enhanced senses. So whenever he describes something, he's reading people's hearts, their heartbeats, the perspiration, things like that. He's able to detect that sort of detail about people. So he's also he was trained by somebody named Stick, who was part of a cabal of ninjas, according to the Netflix show. I don't know if that's accurate to the comic book story. Um, or maybe he was opposed to the Hand. I know he was involved with the Hand in some way. I don't really remember. It's been a while since I've watched the show. But Stick was just your basic badass. He was also blind. He trained Matt as a kid to become this superhuman gladiator who's basically the peak of like street level fighting. Like Spider-Man is considered street level. Captain America would be considered like a level beyond that as far as fighting skills, things like that. You know, people like Wolverine are up there, but Daredevil's more on like so like below him would be Frank Castle, the Punisher, as far as fighting skills go. But basically, like for your peak unenhanced human, it's got to be like Daredevil. He uses weapons, his billy club, uh, which is like a big metal stick he has. He's a street brawler, what they call in the Marvel sense. He's a street brawler. He's not superhuman in anything other than his senses, I do believe. He's just a regular guy who's just fearless. That's why they call him fearless, because he's gonna go out there and fight people that could really just punch his head off if they really wanted to, but he's not gonna let them because he's faster than they are. Anyway, so now we're with Kingpin. I'm assuming by the silhouette. Boss, it's getting out of hand. It's all over the news. You've got to stop it. That. Did you feel that? Even here, 20 blocks distant, the earth trembles. So he can feel the explosions up on his skyrise penthouse. That's crazy. So here is Nuke just shooting at Matt Murdock, and he's just jumping for his life here. So you, no, it's too quick. No, every time he fires that thing across the street, that old woman crumples by her window with wounds that will never heal. Every time he fires, people die. So this is bad. It's not necessarily is he a match for is Nuke a match for Daredevil? It's how many people is he going to kill before Daredevil can stop him? So he's kicking him in the face. It's got to be too fast. So even Nuke's too fast for him. This big hulking Arnold Schwarzenegger wannabe is fast because of these cybernetic enhancements he's got. And he's got that backup helicopter. Stay close to him. Only chance. It's the bullets flying by. So he's got a helicopter trying to kill him, and Nuke is just whooping up on him. So Daredevil's in kind of a pickle here. This might be at his limitations. Don't give him a second. Nerve center. Feel it hum like a fuse box. Short circuit the. He hits him in the solar plexus. No good. And he's just like, yeah, whatever, bud. He doesn't have any, weak points or nerve centers, clusters, or anything like that. Just smacks him over the head with his gun. This is slaughter, boss. This is mass murder. This is war. I've done no more than transport it from a South American jungle to Manhattan, to Hell's Kitchen. Doesn't feel pain. Doesn't go for pain. Don't go for pain. Go for the eyes. So he's like jabbing his eyes out. Not gonna work. Doesn't matter. He's as blind as I am. So he's literally blinded him, and he's still just like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. Too many victims. Make him drop it. Muscles can't work if they're severed. Oh, almost broke my fingers. So he's literally so sinewy and muscle that Daredevil cannot break his muscles when he hits them. It's crazy. I really love the descriptions here. In other comics, a lot of other comics, they would just say he's super powered, and then you'd see them like punching each other around. And it's up to you to put the pieces together and figure out, okay, this guy's like strong as Superman or whatever. But here, Miller is describing how much of a struggle it is to punch this guy who you don't really know. This is his second appearance in Marvel in a comic book, so Nuke, so they're having to describe just how tough he is, and it makes you appreciate that. Yeah, he's not like as tough as some people out there, like Wolverine, but he's pretty tough. Boss, if this gets pinned on us, you forget that Nuke is a government agent, Wesley. Do you think the Army wants it known that they loaned his services to the crime lord of New York City? We may depend on our duly elected officials to protect us. Blind as I am, but he doesn't have heightened senses. Built-in radar tells me where everything is better than eyes. Forget nerves. So many victims. So this is just running through his head. Could you imagine having a dialogue like that while trying to fight somebody who has a gun almost as tall as you are? That's crazy, man. Daredevil is a cool guy. Really good fighter. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of powerful superheroes out there, but if I had to do, like, save the galaxy or whatever, like that memes, you pick 6 or whatever, Daredevil would probably be in there. Just, you never know when you're going to need a brawler. Sometimes you need someone that's just good enough on their own, doesn't need any powers beyond certain things. Forget nerves. Break the bones. He's trying to break this guy's bones. He's punching him in the gut, right in the rib. No, that's not bone. No more. Stop being clever. And he's just smacking him. No more. And he kicks him. My name is Ben Urich. I'm a reporter. There, over there. I got it. Click. Hell's Kitchen is under attack by a one-man army. Matt Murdock is trying to negotiate a ceasefire unilaterally. So he just kicked Nuke onto a freaking electric line. Crazy, it's crazy. Mary, all units. My leg, my leg, my leg. End of the world, it's... Watch it, Glory, watch it, Glory. Glory, get out of the way, I got it. Click. Help me, I can't breathe. He hits... You idiot. So he just launched like a grenade there. I shouldn't call him Matt. Give the man his due. He's wearing the tights. He's Daredevil. The man without fear. There we go. So he just took a grenade, concussion blast. Fear of bullets or rockets or fire. The fire, Glory, when it hits the gas tank. Come on! Click. So the car just blew up. They're taking cover. Beautiful colors in this, by the way. It's so subtle. The aquas and the magentas, it's just nice. Ben! Oh, boys. It's Nuke in flames. Get it off me! Get it off me! Ben, stop thrashing! He takes his gun, crack, knocks him over the head with it. Now they're kind of more even, no more... Coming for you, boy. Oh! Get it off me! No more. Ooh. Daredevil just... He just used a grenade launcher on the helicopter. He's not like Batman, where it's like, I don't use guns or whatever Batman's thing is, because people compare Daredevil to Batman a lot. That's why I'm making the comparison here. But I know Daredevil's used guns. I've seen pictures of him with guns and stuff, but it's still funny to see him using that grenade launcher. He's resourceful. That's why I said I would hire him if I had to, or pick him in my team of Universal Saviors. I would do that because he's resourceful. He doesn't make compunctions or things like, I don't use guns or stuff like that. He's like, no. We're going to get this done. I'm going to go home tonight. I got enough problems. The IRS is trying to mess my crap up. So, forgive me. He's remorseful. He's a Catholic, by the way. He's very remorseful about sins and stuff like that. It's a big element to his character. So he just blew the crap out of that helicopter, even though it was trying to murder him with a minigun here. But, yeah. And here we're back to Urich. Out of nowhere, they appear. This one's been shot. Medic! Over here! Man. Put those fires out. We don't want a gas main going up. And it's the man, Captain America. Or Cap, if you're cool. A soldier with a voice that could command a god. And does. So here we have Thor, baby. Suddenly it's raining so hard it hurts. Everybody who can falls silent. So Captain America just shows up in the middle of this chaos. Thor's there putting out the fires. Except Matt. Daredevil's in his own world. Even if these people show up, he's still on a mission. The Kingpin, he sent you. Say it. Give me a white. Give me a white. Nuke takes pills. They are, of course, red, white, and blue. So what he's saying there is, give me a white pill. Give me a white pill. And, and they do different things to him. So, but white pill probably takes away pain or something. I don't know. So we'll find out what happens next. Daredevil. That man is ours on federal authority. Stand back. There's Tony Stark, Iron Man. I love that armor, by the way. I've seen that armor before. It's really cool. So we're going to turn the page here. Oh, this is like stuck together. There we go. So the Avengers have shown up, if you can't tell. You have 5 seconds. There's a soft hum as computer circuitry generates enough power to level a building and holds it, waiting. Not being stupid, Matt backs away. So they're saying, hey, Nuke, that's our guy. You need to relinquish him, Murdoch or Daredevil. You step away. Give me a white. Here's Cap, just like looking at this guy with an American flag tattooed to his face, just after he killed a bunch of Americans. He's probably got some things going on in his head right now. It's a long night. It's a horrible night. Sheer lunacy, Kingpin. Sheer lunacy. Hundreds of people dead. If the Syndicate gets fingered for it, we'll be in court for months. Please, Mr. Glazer, do not refer to our organization as a syndicate. It dates you. By the way, my cat's in here. She might try and make an appearance. She's hiding in a box. And when I said the word syndicate, she meowed. So maybe she's in a criminal syndicate and is getting a little worried. I don't know, but that's my cat. Sorry. Dates me. Right, sure. In the old days, we might go for a family, but we never flattened an entire neighborhood. Have you any idea what your vendetta has cost us tonight in lost drug trade? Very little as compared to the lost real estate. But please, go on, Mr. Glazer. You bet I'll go on, fat man. Ooh, you can say that to Kingpin. I'll say what everybody here is thinking. You're screwing up. You've endangered all of us and cost us all millions just to harass that blind shyster. Glazer, you'd better ease up. Mr. Glazer's entitled to his opinion, Mr. Ornstein. Allow me to interject, however, that Murdoch is no longer an attorney. Crazy Kingpin, you've been crazy ever since you lost your wife. Look, I guess it's been hitting, I guess I've been hitting the bottle a little too. I didn't mean to. Oh, so he's regretting what he just said. Took you a while. I mean, Hell's Kitchen, I put a lot of years into it, and... Yes, Mr. Glazer, I understand. Snap. We all understand each other, don't we, gentlemen? Damn. Dawn breaks, mercifully. Excuse me, sorry. Foggy. He was my partner in another life, so we're from Matt Murdock's perspective now. They're at a church, it looks like. Good thing he didn't notice me. Glory! Oh, glory! Our Father who art in heaven, can you give me something for this? It just keeps hurting. You're from Ireland. I haven't seen it since I was a child. I think we all saw it last night, sister. The bad part, anyway. Foggy, you came. Oh, honey, I was so scared. Don't move me. Just give me something for it. You need to sleep. I'm all right, Maggie. Really, I am. Of course I came, Gloria. I'm so glad you're okay. Are you okay? Bullet passed right through, Foggy. Oh, it did take a chunk of me with it. I can't believe this happened. First thing we'll do is get you to a proper hospital. I can't be moved just yet, Foggy. I've I've got a favor to ask you. Get some sleep, Matt. As soon as you can. I will. So this is like everyone recovering from the nightmare of a nuke hitting Hell's Kitchen. Sure, Glory, whatever. Well, I hate to ask you, Huggy, but could you take this roll of film to the Daily Bugle to Ben Urich? By now he's climbing the walls. There you are. Guess you're pretty serious about the job. I thought maybe... Don't even start with that, Foggy. I've lost nothing that won't grow back, and the pictures I took. So, forgive me if I go out of accent on some of these people, but it's very hard to tell who they are, because they're reading, they're off screen. So, forgive me if I'm not doing the Irish accent for all that. But apparently, the redhead chick that took the pictures with Ben Urich is Irish. So I was trying to do an Irish accent there. Apologies if I don't maintain it. Yeah, well, I'll be seeing you, sweetie. Sure, Foggy, I'll call you. What is it, Matt? I'm in trouble, Karen. I have to go. Trouble, if that's who I think it is. Excuse me, sorry. Yes, no man ever breathed like that. Down the alley. Down the block, in that alley. No, there's his scent. He's moving, though. You'd never know it from his near heartbeat. So steady. There. Ran past me, rattled a garbage can. A little sloppy, but faster than me. So he's chasing somebody, and he could detect everything about him. His heartbeat, sweat, things like that. His scent. No good. He's got it all worked out. Right around the corner. Leaping so easily. Window still creaks with his weight. 300 pounds at least. Big mother. Big muscly mother. His muscles lie about it like hydraulic pumps. They swing him up. Who's he chasing? Ah, all worked out. He tracked me since last night. Daredevil, I mean you no harm. What do you want? Wow, so he just tracked down Cap. So he was able to detect that Cap was not a regular guy. Like, his heartbeat was not going up. Like, I run up some stairs to get the mail sometimes, and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm not an, like, out of shape person. I try to ride the exercise bike 5 nights a week and think that I'm, in decent shape. But I can't imagine, like, swinging 300 pounds up onto a fire escape and outrunning Daredevil and not breaking a sweat in a full suit. That's the most super thing about these guys. They don't break out in, like, horrible sweats. Like, you'd think Daredevil would be like, yeah, that's a superhero because he's, like, boiling in his suit and, like, in a soup of superhero sweat. That's my cat climbing in the background. You can't see it, but she's... You gonna come up on the table? You're just gonna hang out. It's a cute cat. You'd probably like her if you could see her. She's a little calico cat. Just imagine a little calico with a chubby belly, and that's my cat, and that's Jigsaw. You've seen her in other videos. She likes to climb up. Why don't you get in your box? Yeah, I want to get in my box. I'm thinking about it, but someone put a box over my box, so it's hard for me to get into. Anyway, I think she's just sitting there. I really think she's gonna try and come over here, and I apologize if she does. That man last night, who is he? You didn't ask? Your employers, I mean. They aren't my employers. They said he's a terrorist. No ordinary terrorist. If that's even what he is. No, he's too good at it and too well made. His skin contains several kinds of plastics. It's very tough. Doesn't burn easily. His skeleton, his muscles are only partly human. So what's it to you? He wears the flag. See? Cap's like, what the hell? What do you got that tattooed on your face for? Huh, Jigsaw? I hadn't noticed. See, because he's blind. Why would he notice that there's a tattoo on his face? That's true. Matt Murdock wouldn't have noticed if there was a flag on his face. Great writing. Great writing. He wouldn't have noticed. He noticed everything else about the guy, but I don't think you can detect pain on someone's pores, even if you are Daredevil. Are you coming over here? Are you coming over here? You're looking around like you're looking for trouble. Yeah, rub on my clothes. Thanks. Get cat hair all over my clothes. You guys can't see my cat. Maybe I can show you my cat. Let me see. So here I am. Here's the cat. Yeah, see the cat? Oh, hello. It's me, Jigsaw. Oh, see, if you're touching me, it must mean you want me to come on over. Come on over. Do, 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 do. Jigsaw break. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Jigsaw break. Do, 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 do. Please don't mess my camera up. Took me a while to set that up. Oh, don't rub on that. She likes to rub on stuff. She's going to rub on that camera and knock out everything. Do, 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 do. Jigsaw. Do, 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 do. Are you going to get my lap? No, I don't want to. No. 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 She's fighting. She's like, no. Nah, she's okay. No, we can't go that way. That's the wrong way. You can go under the table. Yeah, I don't want to go under the table. See? Jigsaw. Hello, everyone. I'm Jigsaw. This is my voice, even though I'm a girl cat. I sound like this. I have a very interesting life. I enjoy hiding in the closet, trying to kill mice. I wait for hours on end in silence in the closet. I'm weird, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And you know, at the old house that we lived in, I didn't know that there were mice. Well, I introduced him to the mouse family by bringing him like 6 mice, 2 adults, and like 4 babies, and left them on my bedroom floor. Thank you, Jigsaw. I'll say, you're welcome. No more mice, though. Get some more, please. She's a hunter. She's like super cool. Total hunter. All right, kitty. We gotta continue the story. You go on the floor. You can go outside. Bye, Jigsaw. No, you gonna stay in here? So I'm getting petted. Alright. Well, we'll turn this off. Jigsaw break over. Okay, so, where were we? It doesn't mean anything to them. Thinks the soldier. To them, it's just a piece of cloth. Now, is this cat thinking this? It doesn't mean anything to them. Thinks the soldier. To them, it's just a piece of cloth. Sometimes I feel so weak. I don't get that. What is he saying there? It doesn't mean anything to them. Thinks the soldier... Oh, it's someone describing his thoughts. It doesn't mean anything to them, thinks the soldier. To them, it's just a piece of cloth. It's confusing. They should put italics on his thoughts so I know they're reading someone's thoughts. Small complaint. Sometimes I feel so weak. So he's like, they don't get what I think about the flag and what it represents. Which, I mean, I get it, man. You're like, what, 6'8", wearing a giant, costume with a flag and everything on it. Yeah, I'd take the flag pretty seriously, too, if I was in that situation. We're back with Urich now. Urich, whatever you want to say. Glory's pictures make it just under deadline. Mystery killer attacks Hell's Kitchen. Dozens dead. J. Jonah Jameson is so happy. He springs for 2 colors. Ooh. Did you just black and white? He got the red and the blue and the white. All right. It's a good story. Makes all the right people look terrible. And now looks like a Kingpin's building or something as the military, though. I would assume with that on there, the U.S. military. Will you contain the story, General? Or must I take measures of my own? You can count on the department to render the situation stabilized, Mr. Fisk. Excuse me. Sir, you can't... You can't go in there. General, who is this man? So he's got the paper. Captain, pleasure to see you, sir. Pleasure. All that nonsense, I'm afraid you're not cleared for that, Captain, but it's nothing to... You know how these things... I really wish I could tell you, Captain, then you'd know. It's nothing to... I wish I could. You know the department holds you in the highest regard. We've always valued your commitment and your loyalty. I'm loyal to nothing, General, except the dream. And I like that Captain America guy. I'm not the biggest patriot or whatever, but Cap is loyal to the idea, the ideals, the dream of America, what its better angels are, its best parts. So if it's in the 1980s and we're doing things like invading other countries and ousting socialist leaders or having them assassinated in places like Chile and other places, Cap's not for that. So I like this. I like that Cap's like, what is this? Why is this guy, doing this with the American flag on his face? It's a little weird, and it is. It wasn't much of a place, just a grimy diner in a grimy section of town. Just 30 years in the lives of Bertha and Otto Schnapp. Insurance company found some excuses I couldn't even understand to keep from paying on the policy. You could sue them, Otto. You ever sue anybody, Red? Me and the bride, we're not young anymore. We've never been rich. Being right, well, that doesn't count for much. Not when you bring lawyers into it. I guess they'd be German, so they'd be like, me and the bride, we're not young anymore, but we've never been rich. Being right, well, that doesn't count for much. Not when you bring lawyers into it. No, I guess it doesn't. We're both unemployed now, Matt. You've got something in mind. What is it? It's sneaky. Ground floor, sir? Not just yet. Sublevel 6. The vault. Trying to leave? Cat's knocking at the door. I gotta let her out. Bye. Bye, Jigsaw. Goodbye. See you later. I gotta go see if there's mice in the kitchen now. There's no mice here. No bugs. Sir, you aren't cleared. I can't. Yes, Corporal. Just knocks his ass out. Many floors above. No, give me a red. A red. Sorry, son, it's whites and blues for you. For now, that is. Don't get the wrong idea, son. You're not being punished. You haven't done anything wrong, but those reds, they make you pretty wild, and the department is getting a little heat, as you can see, so until your relocation, this is my country. I want to stay here. You'll serve it better overseas, son. That's where the enemy is. No, the enemy is here. Here. Cap's on the computer. The soldier tries not to remember how it used to be, when breaking into top-secret records of military intelligence, an act of treason, was unthinkable. Unthinkable because it was unnecessary. He tries not to resent the computers. Only an old man would. He punches the keys and breaks the right codes, and prays that he is wrong. Wow, Cap's a hacker. Project Rebirth. The word flashes on the screen. Then, a name. His name. Steve Rogers. Unfit for active duty. Subject of a chemical experiment that made him a Superman. Interesting choice of words. Steve Rogers, the super soldier. Prototype for what was to be an American fighting elite. If only it had gone differently, he thinks. If only the serum and the mind that held it had not been destroyed. I believe he's talking about Erskine. I believe that's his name. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. The professor that gave the super soldier serum to Cap and then died. We could have won the war with clean hands, not with millions of innocents murdered by atomic fire. Wow, I never knew Cap disapproved of the utility of the nuclear weapon in World War II. That's interesting. I like Cap. Everything I like about Cap is just good. It's just good. All this is old news. Best not to dwell on it. Code after code he untangles, easily, patiently, hunting for attempts to revive Project Rebirth. His stomach lurches as 20 names appear. Ooh, there's a bunch of names here. James McPherson, deceased. Michael Labash, deceased. Andrew Perlmutter, deceased. John Walsh, deceased. How about Joe Walsh? 20. Dead. All but one. Agent Simpson. Code name, Nuke. Can you imagine the little line drawing going down, revealing the flag? This is the enemy. They lie about us, make us feel ashamed. Settle down, John. Sir, you're in the way. Freeze, man. We should never feel ashamed. Never. Blam. Fuck. Yeah, I'm sure a dart's gonna work. Shoot him! Shoot! Sir, you're... Just blew him away. Oh, they're all dead. They put freaking handcuffs on the Terminator. What the hell? So he just broke free. Now, son, don't go off half-cocked. I won't let you down, sir. Oh, he's got a red. He's got a lot of reds. Like Tic Tacs. They try to make our boys ashamed. Cap's just sitting there in silence. It's a great scene. That's what you look like when you're in silence. Uh-oh. Hell's Kitchen. Costume gives me a psychological advantage over criminals, Karen. Makes it easier to move. Really, it's crucial. Right. So he's suiting up. He ain't too subtle about it because she sold his identity. But, we're not going to talk about that. The award from the Businessmen's Association was earned by hard work, by having the arm broken of the daughter of an oil executive, by procuring a 16mm film of acts beyond description for an automobile distributor. Years of hard work, he thinks. Now they chill me. The kingpin of crime. How easily I will shed that title. How happily. Sorry if I'm going in and out of accent. Again, it's hard to tell because they don't italicize what is his speaking and what's not, so I'm having to do it on the fly. This is my future. To leave the underworld behind. Not to bring it with me. Then, from nowhere, it strikes him. Like the hammer blow that struck his skull when he was 12 years old. And seconds from his first murder. The name. Murdoch. He is there when I least expect him. He hunts me, haunts me, laughs at me. He's nothing, only a man. I've broken so many. Wesley, with something about Nuke. So Nuke's just going on a rampage. Just imagine Commando. Kablam, kablam, ping, ping. Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. Look at that. Cap's just like, nah, man, you're done. She blasted him out the friggin' wall of the building. Right through the American. Great symbology here of the breaking through the eagle. They're falling. It's just a cool scene. $30,000. Fed by compulsive gamblers to clever conmen and now stand poised. To be funneled into the technically legitimate side of the Kingpin's financial empire. $30,000 of rebuilt diner. Oh, he's going to be Robin Hood. He's going to give Otto Schnapps or whatever his name was the money. Our army contract says Nuke broke out. Headed for the Daily Bugle. Scrambled Rourke and wire him good. Get him in position and wait for the kill order. So he's listening into the phone call that was supposed to be about stopping Nuke, I guess. The soldier remembers the time before he was frozen. He remembers the smiles. There was so much hope in that time. His time. He remembers the war. So Cap's having a little snooze. 3 blocks away. Has to be them. The soldier thinks of airplanes. The old kind. Then he thinks of egg beaters. It's the sound. Army helicopters hovering over the roof. So I probably like... Captain. Leave me here, Captain. I'll hold the line. On your feet, Sergeant. There was something more clean about the planes. Though they dropped bombs that burned flesh and destroyed the efforts of generations. Those helicopters moving in. I don't like what they're saying to each other. Wait till they come out. Keep it tight. So he can hear people talking in a helicopter. That's just crazy. The amount of noise he would have to filter. The planes didn't sneak in close like the helicopters do. They didn't pick off their victims like giant insects from a horror movie. Don't be old, thinks the soldier. Don't be crazy. Those are our boys. Keep it tight. On my order. Just... So Cap almost got aced by a minigun, and Daredevil just knocked him out of the way. Tagged him. Cease fire. General's orders. Move in on foot. Went off the roof that way. Oh, these are American soldiers that are doing this. Sir, we can't let you... I respect that, Lieutenant. Somebody call a cop. Lunatic stole my cab. I red light you. Blind man, can't you see? Radar's useless. What the windshield lets through, the rain tears to bits. Too much noise, hard to sort. Dude, you can hear people talking in 3 helicopters. I don't think that would be too difficult to hear, but who am I to say? I don't know. Nitpicky. Somewhere in it, I pick up his heartbeat. It doesn't look good. Maniac. Mission status. You're going home, Sergeant. As long as there's a chance to get him to the hospital. So Matt's actually driving Nuke to the hospital. That's pretty crazy. Promise you'd never do that. Oh, shit. Oh, sorry. Here's my one curse word per stream, I guess. He's dead. He died. No. No hospital. One place left to take him. One purpose he can still serve. Above. He's heading east now. Keep on it, Corporal. Wait, scan that roof. Heat sensors. Yes, sir. Sir, I'm picking something up. How could you see? Daredevil, boss. Heisted Nuke in a cab driving west on... Oh, wait a minute. Make that east on 23rd. East. The Daily Bugle. We must assume that Nuke has overcome Daredevil and is following his original plan. Patch me through to our squad on the Bugle's roof. Winch! Come in, Winch! He just got knocked out. Winch is busy. Steiner, report! Steiner, do you copy? So Cap's on the Daily Bugle roof. Ooh, man, that's a beautiful picture. You rarely see full-page things like that in comics like these. There's no dialogue. It just tells a whole story. Like, here's this madman that's dead. Cybernetically enhanced guy who got destroyed by a minigun. Here's your story. I'm sure the Daily Bugle's used to getting weird stuff, like pictures of Spider-Man that, Peter Parker really shouldn't have. But this has got to be like, whoa. Pretty bad. Like a whole-assed, cybernetically enhanced maniac. The next few weeks go poorly for the kingpin of crime. One of the hitmen placed on the roof of the Daily Bugle names the crime lord as responsible for Nuke's assault. Then, from everywhere, the charges come. He's just crushing that paper. From citizens groups and Senate subcommittees, fired by testimony from disgruntled ex-employees, bagmen and the number runners, bartering away prison sentences. So the kingpin is just getting knocked over by the smaller dominoes. And the small dominoes knock over the bigger ones, and then they knock over the even bigger ones, and then they knock over the biggest one. Kingpin. Breaking more swiftly than the kingpin can have them killed. Oh, speaking more swiftly than the kingpin can have them killed. He's trying to murder everybody before they rat him out. And the faces of his lieutenants grow, sullen and hostile. His commands are obeyed, but far too slowly. Few of the charges stick. Those that do are skillfully cast into years of litigation. So, Kingpin's not ruined, but he's not having a good time. Still, in the eyes of everyone except, as yet, the law, he is a villain, so his reputation's shot. He is shunned, even condemned, by the businessmen who so recently cheered him. The law. At least I took that from him. Murdoch. he thinks and plans. Great. So he ruined Matt Murdock's law career. I mean, I think he got disbarred. So at least I took away Matt Murdock's ability to be a lawyer, and then Daredevil turned around and took away Kingpin's ability to be seen as anything but a criminal. It's poetic. All right. Here's our wrap up. My name is Matt Murdock. I was blinded by radiation. My remaining senses function with superhuman sharpness. I live in Hell's Kitchen and do my best to keep it clean. That's all you need to know. He had his whole identity ruined and everything, but he's like, yeah, but in the end, I'm just Daredevil doing my part to take care of the city. So that was a cool story. A lot of critical sentiment towards America for using these crazy weapons that Captain America had a part in the story. So that was good. I liked that. I liked reading that. Daredevil in the 80s, Frank Miller. It's a great combination. You can't go wrong with it. It lacks any of Miller's sort of negative, what he's been called as misogynist is really what they call him, like anti-woman, you know. And there are some negative elements to this story, like, you know, Karen selling Matt out as a woman. That's kind of negative for a woman to do that. But it's believable because she's a character and she has the identity in her brain. She could certainly sell it if she got addicted to drugs. So it's not like, you know, they're saying women are bad. They're just saying, hey, she was addicted and she made a decision. So yeah, this is Miller. I don't know if at his best. I mean, because there's Dark Knight Returns, which is a really good story in Batman. But it's certainly, definitely good. I really like this story. I like this picture of Stan Lee. Excelsior. This is from right around the time of the last magazine that God did it again. Friggin' the last comic book I read was around from this time because these are all the same ads. So I'm not like, oh, look at this ad. This is stupid. There's not a lot of fun ads in this though because I don't know why. I'm just looking at these descriptions. Heathcliff Magazine. Wow. Okay. Sure. Why not? Basically, you could just see what's coming out, and you could checklist and all that stuff. There's no letters in here that I can see. There's Cap. By the way, this looks fantastic on the camera. In real life, this is actually not as vibrant as it is on here. For better or for worse, I don't know. It's up to your preference on how you like things. But I like a little bit of saturation. I like a little bit of color. So this is cool. I think even the ad on the back is, yeah, it's the same as the last one. You know, you wear a helmet when you play your Yamaha piano. Because, I don't know, it's like Daft Punk. This is like a precursor to Daft Punk. Maybe Daft Punk saw this as kids and were like, hey, they got something there. That's a good idea. So, that was Daredevil 233 Armageddon. This is an original issue. It looked pretty much unread. This is going to go back in the poly bag, and I will put it up safely. That was a good story. As far as what I'm going to read next, I have some ideas, but I definitely will be making more of these videos. I enjoyed this. Do you like my background, by the way? I was tired of like moving the comic around on the wood. You can kind of, I don't bend it, but you kind of see, yeah, the wood back up here. It was not good for the comic book. So I've got my mouse pad that I used to do projects on. This is a giant mouse pad of a Zaku, if you can't tell. But it makes it kind of a good backing. I've got something else coming in the mail eventually from China, so it'll take forever, with this being replaced. But for now, this is what it's going to be, so that's why there's a Zaku background, if you were wondering. It's because it's a nice, smooth mouse pad surface, and it makes good for the comic book to move around on. I would certainly take ideas for stories if you guys wanted me to read them. I'll read just about anything if it's good. A little curious about if Marvel's going to come in here and wreck my crap for reading these comic books to people, but it's like, hey, I'm just reading them. I'm not like trying to make money off of it. I guess for disclosure's sake, I haven't made a dime off YouTube ever. It's not how I make my bread and butter. I do other things to get that money. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, but that was cool. I know Nuke as a character came back later on, and he was a reoccurring character for like the Thunderbolts, which is like this group of villains that are going to be featured in future Marvel movies or a show. I think they have a show coming out, the Thunderbolts show. It's led by Baron Zemo at some point. And anyway, when they had Norman Osborn as their leader, I remember Nuke appearing, and that was back in like the 2005 to 2010 era, around there. That Thunderbolts run right after Civil War in 2005. But Nuke's an interesting character. He died in this, but I can tell you he comes back. He has a run-in with some more characters. They go into his backstory a little bit, and Logan's involved because it turns out that Nuke is part of the Weapons Plus program, which turns out was responsible for Weapon X, which was an iteration of Weapons Plus, which is the Weapon X is the program that made Wolverine, Logan. So Logan has some dealings with Nuke. And it's pretty gruesome. You should check it out if you want to read more about it. I immensely recommend reading more Daredevil stuff. Frank Miller's run on it is great. I believe it's Daredevil Year 1 is by Miller. Let me look that up, just so I'm not spouting out stuff and not being right. Let's see. Well, there's Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, number 1. Oh, I'm thinking of Batman Year 1, sorry, which is, Batman Year 1 is by Frank Miller. I'm not Daredevil Year 1, my bad. See, I told you, I'm terrible with memory. Anyway, Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, I believe is that's Batman Year 1 for Daredevil. Daredevil, the Man Without Fear by Frank Miller. With John Romita Jr. as the illustrator. Came out in the 90s. That tells Frank Miller's version of Daredevil's origin story. And also, Frank Miller did Batman's origin story in Batman Year 1. That's where I got Daredevil Year 1 from. Anyway, so you want to read Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. That's a good place to start because it's the origin. It's Frank Miller. It's got a lot to do with the hand and stick, that character I was mentioning at the beginning. It's very interesting. Daredevil's villains are really cool. Bullseye's the biggest one. If you watch the Netflix show, Bullseye is eventually in that show, and it's a really cool storyline. The Netflix show is excellent. Very well written. I think it was one of the best Netflix Marvel shows. I think it probably was the best one. Very good. I liked all the actors in it. So that was Daredevil Armageddon, number 233 from Marvel, 1986. Great story. Daredevil is an awesome character. I hope you enjoyed this. And again, if you have any ideas or anything that you would like to suggest to me, I can be reached on Reddit most quickly at this username, and I'll put that in the video. And you can reach me there and just send me a PM, and if I'm not ranting at somebody about, some crazy thing, I will respond to you. And you can always ask me for recommendations on comics to read. I spent a lot of my years on this planet reading them. Don't necessarily remember all of it very well, but I did spend a lot of time reading it. But I appreciate you guys joining me here in my closet. Let me turn my webcam on. Can I go to scene 2? Oh, look. Oh, it's frozen. But hey, it's the cat. Oh, look. Isn't that cute? That's cool. I'm just like, dear God, help me. I think this one works. Yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed Daredevil, Jigsaw, and me reading. This was Sit Down Comics number 2, Daredevil 233, Armageddon. Thanks, guys. See ya in the funny papers. Bye.